Oh, my name is Melissa Budzinski, and I'm from Gilda's Club, Grand Rapids. I'm so glad that you have made it here and you're watching this video. I'm so grateful that we have this forum to be able to present to each other and talk to each other and connect through Facebook and through Zoom. If you are watching and you have questions or you have thoughts or you want to share with me what your practice of gratitude is, I would love to hear that. You can just write it in the comment section underneath this post. This is a recording, so we won't be able to get back to you today, but for sure in the next couple of days we'll be able to connect with you, especially if you're looking to have any time at Gilda's Club or want to know about what it is that we do. All right, great. So glad that you're here. So we're going to talk a little bit about the practice of gratitude. Oftentimes when people hear, oh, we're going to talk about gratitude, they sort of like, oh, I don't really want to do that. And it can be sort of hard. And sometimes there's a sense in our culture of platitude of gratitude, empty gratitude, saying thank you maybe when we don't really mean it, or being nice when we don't really feel it. And this practice of gratitude is slightly different than that. And so I hope that you'll find that you can sink into this and at least try it once or twice for yourself and see if it doesn't help. So there's this group, well, okay, let me start again. There is that in researching this and looking at the materials that we have at Gilda's Club about gratitude, and then following the links and checking out different websites that we have looked into before, I discovered UC Berkeley has this whole area called Greater Good Science. And they do a lot of research on happiness and on gratitude and the practice of gratitude. And I had no idea that was going on. So I encourage you to look that up. UC Berkeley Greater Good Science. And just to check it out, we'll post it so that you'll be able to easily access that. They have lots of articles and lots of research projects that they've written on, and some videos for children, videos for adults, just really rich resource that we have in our country. It's pretty cool. So they're talking about that the practice of gratitude actually changes our brain. It can actually activate portions of our brain that may not have been activated before, or may have been less activated than other times in our lives, especially during times of difficulty, like a cancer diagnosis, or someone in your life has died, or this time of COVID, and racial tension and cultural unrest right now, and really just looking at how we want to be as a country, as a community, and as a person. And so this is really a great way to help yourself shift from that negative set point to looking at what is wrong. And I come to you with personal experience in that, and to shift yourself into seeing the good in your life. And so that is actually a shift in your brain, a shift of what part of your brain that you're accessing, what part of your brain lights up. So they knew that this worked pretty well with this practice of gratitude that we'll talk about in a minute, with people who maybe were their mindset was more positive to begin with. And so they were wondering, how does this work with people who struggle with maybe depression or anxiety, or have some more of those difficult mental health issues to contend with. And so they took this group of people who were working with a therapist, a psychotherapist, and they split them into 3 groups. And in one group, they gave them the the experience of writing one gratitude letter a week for 3 weeks. And they would just think of someone in their life that they were grateful for, or they had some gratitude about, or it could be, an organization or something like that. And they would write a gratitude letter for them. They didn't have to send it. They didn't have to do anything with it. The only thing they had to do was to write it. So the second group they took and they gave them the assignment of writing about their negative experiences in their life. And so they went to therapy and they did this writing about their negative experiences in their life. And then the third group was the control group and they didn't do anything. Well, they really found that with this first group, that not only did they shift their thinking and shift their outlook on life to a more positive outlook, but that it lasted also longer than in either of the other two groups. So it was more far-reaching, more significant shift in thinking and positive outlook in life, and it really didn't really take much effort on their part. So this one letter once a week for 3 weeks. And then they could continue that on if they would like. So this piece of gratitude isn't a really light or fluffy thing, or it isn't really a platitude, but this actual activity, this experience, this using gratitude as a way to help yourself to feel better, to shift your mental health state. So how do you do that? You say, what do I do with that? Let's see. I'm just going to look at my notes here. So, there's 4 things, is that gratitude can help us unshackle from those toxic emotions, those focusing on what went wrong, and really trying to help us shift into that looking at what is right now. And gratitude helps us, like those letters that were written and they didn't necessarily send them. Actually, quite a few of that group did not send them. It really helped them, even if it didn't share it with anyone. So doing those letters really are for yourself, right? They're not necessarily for that other person. And if you do share it, then there's an added benefit. And gratitude, it does take time. They did not see a significant change in that person the first week, the second week, but by the third and fourth week, as they interviewed them and had them take a evaluative test, that their outlook got better and better 3 weeks on. So it does take a little bit of time in that practice. It's just like working out a muscle, that muscle doesn't immediately look the way that you want it to. It takes a little bit of time and some repetition to do that. And then it has lasting effects, that it lights up that part of the brain that for a longer period of time that you can really, keep going back to. So there's another article there. It's called Tips for Keeping a Gratitude Journal. And Jason Marsh published this in 2011, but I just really felt like it really was applicable for today. So his suggestions is don't just go through the emotions. So not just writing things out and then that's the end of that. That's sort of that platitude piece. His suggestion is that you really take a little bit of time, and even if you just think about one piece of gratitude or one thing that you're really grateful for, but to bring the experience up, to bring the emotion up, to sit with that piece of good feeling, to think about the smells, the sounds, the sights, maybe the taste if it was something that you were eating. So trying to bring that into this place of the real experience. So if I was thinking maybe I got a chance to go to the beach, and I love to go to the beach. So if I was writing about that piece of gratitude about being able to do that, I would encompass everything that I experienced that I really enjoyed. And you don't have to spend an hour doing that, but you want to maybe one part in each of those senses so that you can bring that experience up. Because your body does not know whether you're in the experience in the exact moment or whether you're not when you're thinking about it. So, thinking about those places of gratitude, those experiences, those people that are in your life, help your body releases all of those good chemicals. It helps to balance your hormones, increase your serotonin, lower your blood pressure, all increase your immune system. So your body responds like you're in the moment. And so if you did this, like say at the beginning of the day, then you would be set for the day of having like this rush of really good um, balance in your body. Or if you go to bed at night and you do that, and then you will you'll be going to sleep with this wonderful um, peaceful place of good balance also. So don't just rush through that. And you don't have to do it every day. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But so take your time, be specific, be intentional, and take that time for yourself. Um, Go for depth, like I said, over breadth. So you're not getting too detailed about one particular thing, but detailed enough that you can feel that experience. Get personal. Focus on the people whom you're grateful for, and it really has more of an impact than focusing on things. I know I used the beach as a part of that, but if I picked a person in my life, my children, my husband, someone who has really impacted me, that really helps enrich my relationship with them, my relationship with myself, um, and really helps to sink that into our connection piece, to feeling connected and not so alone, which is really, really important right now when we are spending much more time alone than ever before. And we're having harder times having to be really creative about how to figure out how to connect with people. And so picking a person that you're really grateful for can really help you to feel connected with them. Try subtraction, not just addition. One effective way of stimulating gratitude is to reflect on what your life would be like without a particular person or situation, or whatever you call it, blessing. Or so, what if I didn't have a car? Or what if I didn't have, I'm going to use my dog for an example. I think I would be pretty lonely. And he gives me lots and lots of joy. So I wouldn't have all those moments of joy. And he gets me out walking and to the park. And so all of those things. So think about what would it be like if you didn't have that person? And then in the reverse, then it brings up all of those pieces of gratitude, that perspective of that. So try to savor surprises. If something happened and it was such a big surprise, you didn't expect it to happen, you saw somebody you haven't seen in a while or whatever, savor those moments, write about them, somehow draw a picture about them, take a picture of them and, put it in your journal. But mark that time so that you can, um, you know, mark that as a moment of gratitude, and you can go back to that and see that. But don't overdo it. They found that if people were writing more and more often, that oftentimes the effects of that became less because they sort of started to stress out about writing this gratitude journal. So our suggestion is to, once, twice, 3 times a week, maybe do this, and try not to stress yourself out about it, but to get into a regular habit of doing that, and not worrying about having to do it every single time in exactly the right way or anything like that. But to be able to do it on a regular basis. Practicing that piece of gratitude is really important, and can really help you on your journey. And then, I just encourage you to try it, and if it doesn't work for you, you don't have to stick with it. But if you try it and it works, that's great. And then you can share it if you want or not. Keep it to yourself. It's all up to you. I want you to know, all of you, that I'm really grateful for all of you. I'm really grateful for this challenge. I often will say that being on Facebook Live wasn't on my vision board, but here I am. And I really appreciate this challenge and this experience of being able to look into things that maybe I didn't have time to look into or I put off, like gratitude, the practice of gratitude, and all the other things that we've done. I've been able to work with my coworkers more, and that's been really exciting. And it's been really fun to see and to hear from all of you about how these recordings and these talks have helped you. And so very rewarding to me. And so I am very grateful for this moment and um, for Gilda's Club Grand Rapids, and to be able to have this in my life, have work in my life that I feel like is very life affirming and giving to me, as well as hopefully to other people. So thank you so much for being here. If you have more questions, we're always available on phone or by email from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and Friday 9 till 1. We have lots of recordings, as I said, that you can access on your own anytime on our webpage and Facebook and on our YouTube channel. If you are on a grief or on a cancer journey and would like to join one of our free cancer or grief support groups or one of our workshops, we'd love to have you. Again, just email us or call us. We'd love to hear from you and talk with you. If you have practices of gratitude that I didn't mention, because there are so many out there, please let us know what they are. We'd love to hear that and share it with everyone. So just make a comment or send us an email. Well, thank you again for this time, spending this time watching this. I hope it was helpful, and I hope that you stay well and stay well connected, and you're finding great things, great joy in this time right now. Take care.